That's how our learners can learn that everything has got a plot and a story. A poem has a plot, has characters, has a story. And it's easy because it's a few lines and it is simpler language.
May I just, if I may interrupt here,
yeah.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I would like to share a personal story here. Okay. Back in time, I remember I was an avid reader and I would just go and find books, English literature books, simplified when I was young, abridged when I was a little bit older. And of course, I was taught literature when I was at school. Something I cannot forget is the time when they introduced an original text for Shakespeare. That was Julius Caesar. That was, an experience of a lifetime, really. Imagine a middle school or a prep school, second prep school student looking at Shakespeare's original verse or original prose. What happened is we could not really understand a single word, all of us, because simply it is written in original, Shakespearean language. The way we dealt with it is so funny because back in time, they did not really encourage us to analyze characters, to relate to this, to relate to that. Lots of memorization of events was really involved. So we were prompted to tell what happened here, what happened there. It's about the plot, and we were supposed to memorize the events and character analysis. Anyways, what I did is I found a good Arabic translation of the original text, and I put them, both texts next to each other, really comparing line by line, so I could really figure out what the whole thing was all about. That was my experience, and I'm not really sure it was the most enjoyable way or the right way to learn literature like that. What do you think?
And if I may say, that was a major mistake on the part of those who decided the syllabus and your teacher who probably chose it. Shakespeare is not to be taught to foreign language learners. Shakespeare is to be taught to literature majors once they have decided that they want to become literature majors. Shakespeare is to be seen as a play if when you're older and you go and see it. Let me give you a parallel example. We all know about the Greek tragedies, the ancient Greek tragedies and comedies. As Greeks, unfortunately, when we are young, we study them, but unfortunately, we don't study them as we should. We translate them from ancient Greek into modern Greek and all that. However, when we go to the ancient theaters and we watch a performance, we understand fully well whatever is happening. Okay. Part of it is in here, in the heart, in the blood, in the genes, in whatever, in the fact that, yes, being in the open theater, it's very natural for us, and so on and so forth. Watching a Shakespearean play as a child, I didn't understand it as much as I did the Greek tragedy or the comedy. Later on, as an older person, yes. Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, whoever it is, even Romeo and Juliet, with the exception now that we have so many films of Romeo and Juliet that they can first see Romeo and Juliet, fall in love with the actors first, and then the story, and then, but still, the language is difficult. This isn't a language for a foreign language learner. But there's Hemingway that can be read. Okay, there are modern plays that can be read and watched. Even Ibsen is easier, okay, in terms of language. So this is what teachers of language should be choosing. Teachers of literature, they choose whoever they wish. This is literature, it's a completely other, different field. But teachers of language use works that will help their learners develop and use the English language and love the English language and somehow adopt it in a way, eventually adopt it. Can I